What up, yogis? My name is Daniel Cumming and welcome to your flow. So this class will be an introduction to some of the movements that we'll be doing over the next 4 weeks and working our way towards the Warrior 3 and lunge bind of the arms. So this will definitely be the easiest class of the lot, and more so this will just be a way that you can actually warm up the body and prepare for those movements later. And especially if you've had injuries before, there'll be a few little variations in here that won't be in the rest of the classes that can help you progress towards getting those binds and those movements later. So we'll start in a cross-legged position. If you'd like something to put underneath the hips, like a block, or you can use a pillow or something along those lines to prop yourself up, but we won't be here for too long. So what we'll do to start off is press down through the base of the body and then lengthen up through the back of the spine, up the back of the neck, all the way up to the crown of the head and all the way to the top. And then gently tuck the chin, lift the chest, but then soften through the belly. So we breathe more into the belly than the chest. So as you breathe in, expand your belly forward and out, filling it full of air like a balloon. And then as you exhale, lightly draw the belly button in towards the spine, keeping the strong posture. And see if you can keep this breath as much as you can throughout the flow. We'll bring the hands in front of the chest to start off. Inhale, both arms up and out. And then exhale in and down, bringing the palms together. Inhale, interlace the fingers, elbows will rise up, and then as you exhale, tuck the chin, press away with the palms, and sort of cave the chest in a little bit, drawing the lower belly back. Open up through the elbows a little bit and soften through the shoulders as much as you can. On the inhale, not just reaching up the arms, but pressing down through the base of the body, and then lifting the hands up. See if you can get the arms around the ears. If you can't, that's fine, but we can soften through the shoulders, and that'll allow a bit more space to come through. And then we can draw the elbows out a little bit, reaching the hands up overhead. A couple more breaths. Good. Remembering to press down through the base of the body and opening up through the shoulders while softening them. Next, exhale, bringing the hands in behind the body. So option one, if you can interlace the fingers in behind the body and then draw the arms back softly, opening up through the shoulders. So we're not squeezing behind with the shoulder blades. We're actually drawing the hands and the elbows apart a little bit. If you can't do this bind, what you can actually do to work your way towards it is inhale forward with the palms and then exhale the elbows back and then just reach the hands as far behind as you can. So you would inhale foot, exhale them back. So if you're still holding the bind, just breathing through. And then you can maybe start to tap the hands. And eventually you can tap the fingers, and then eventually you can interlace the fingers. So we'd inhale forward, exhale, bring the elbows back, touch the fingertips. You might not need that, but for those who do, that can really help. So you won't get frustrated if you're doing the bind and you can't do it, you can work towards it. So gently releasing the binder if you're in there now. And then we'll take the fingertips down, and we'll just gently lean back onto the hips. Yeah, you don't have to lean much up if you don't want to, but you can have the fingertips on the ground, just lift the knees and lift the chest. You can keep the legs crossed if you want. Otherwise, you can lift the feet or maybe even keep the toes on the ground. Elevating through the chest. If this is too easy for you, you can extend the feet. Holding here for 5, 4, holding the hands underneath the knees if you're doing this advanced version, 2, 1, and then crossing the ankles over the opposite way to last time. Lift the hips, draw them back, hands back on the knees. So it should feel pretty strange. Opposite way to your normal way of crossing the legs. Inhale, both arms up and out. Exhale in and down. Interlacing the fingers differently to last time. So drawing the elbows up and then exhale, pressing them over with the palms. Good. Opening up through the elbows, broadening through the shoulders. Inhale, both arms up above the head. Nice big breath in, soften through the shoulders and lift. One more breath in here. And then gently drop the hands in behind the body, interlacing the fingers that different way. So whatever your normal way is, change the pinky finger around and that'll change the rest of the fingers around. Drawing the hands back, the chest up, remembering that variation. So holding here for a few breaths in your bind, opening up through the shoulders, drawing them apart, not squeezing though. So not squeezing too far close together and not squeezing them apart either, somewhere in between. Otherwise you can inhale the arms forward and then exhale them back, drawing the elbows back first and then maybe touching the fingertips together if you're progressing towards that bind. Last breath in and then gently releasing. Hands by your side, fingertips down, lifting the knees, lifting your chest, lifting the feet maybe, And then hands back underneath the knees if you want the more advanced version of it. And we'll go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Crossing over the ankles. This time we come up and over to all fours. So wrists are stacked beneath the shoulders, knees are stacked beneath the hips. So what I want you to do is soften through the shoulders and the wrists and start to press into one fingertip at a time. So you would press the pinky finger, then the ring, middle, pointer, thumb, and then over to the other side. So just pressing one finger at a time, all the way over, and then to the opposite hand. Yeah, kind of like you're playing the scales on a piano. And then while you do this, see if you can soften and relax into the wrists and elbows and shoulders. And then just start to kind of pour like a cat would into the mat. Starting to lean side to side, and eventually starting to take little circles with the shoulders. And then eventually the hips kick in and the whole body's taking these little circles. So you lean to the right, to the front, to the left, to the back. And probably the trickiest part is seeing if you can relax the head and neck and face and jaw. And just moving a little bit, reversing that rotation. So this is a really good one that you can do first thing in the morning or before bed. Just when you're not sure what to do, you can just start to move. Good. We'll bring the knees a little bit closer together and take the weight off the wrists. Right foot reaches back. So right foot flexed. And then just looking gently underneath the body a little bit. If this is okay for you, you can take your left hand forward at the same time. So right foot back, left arm forward. And see if you can line that right hip up. So we don't want to lift that hip too much. We want to have it lined up with the left hip. Soften through the right shoulder and elbow, reaching nice and long. We'll go one more breath in, and then exhale the hand down, knee down. Remember at any time, you can pause this, and you can grab a pillow or blanket or extra mat if your knees are a little bit tender for this, yeah? Other side, left foot back. So reaching that left heel back, flexing the left foot, and then reaching that right arm forward, softening through the shoulder. Good. Tucking the chin a little bit. Think of a turtle's head coming out of its shell, top of the head forward, left foot back. Good. One more breath in. And then hand down, knee down. Let's come to a child's pose position. So you can separate the knees a little bit maybe, or keep them close together if it feels better. Sinking the hips down towards the heels. And then just dropping the elbows and forearms and just softening down. You can press into it a little bit to draw the hips back a little bit more. But just softening and relaxing in may feel good to sway side to side, especially if it's the morning. It's really good to move a little bit after being still all night. Then we'll gently come down onto our belly. So from an all fours position, tucking the chin, and just really slowly bending the elbows as much as you can. See if you can keep the core on, and just lower down as slowly as possible. You can roll the hips down first if you need to, but we'll set up for a locust pose position. So what I want you to do is bring the hips back, shuffle them, and then imagine you have basketballs in your hands. So spread the fingers around these imaginary basketballs, roll the shoulders up, around, and hold these basketballs beside you. Strong with the tops of the feet in the ground. I want you to just lift the chest and press these imaginary basketballs into the ground and open up through the chest. If that's okay, you can lift your feet as well. So pressing down through the hips, lifting the feet, and then top of the head forward, so turtle's head coming out of its shell. Now you don't have to lift very high. And then bending the elbows and then opening up the palms. Just one more breath here. And then you can gently cross the arms, forehead or cheek down to the arms, and just relax for a couple of breaths. If your heart rate's increased a little, just slowing down your breath, that'll slow everything else down. Framing the chest with the hands, drawing the elbows in but not squeezing them. We want them fairly loose. Pull the weight back into the hips and lift the chest. Imagine a seesaw, how it would kind of just rock back. That's how I want you to lift. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, Just come back to a child's pose position for a second. Stretching out the arms. And then we'll walk the hands back to the body for a virabahdrasana position. So just on the thighs here with the hands sitting on the hips. And then we'll lean towards the left side, maybe support with your left hand, and bring the right knee forward. So this might be a good time to take a pillow underneath the left knee if you need it. Drawing through the inside of the thighs, lifting everything up. Inhale, lift the arms. And then I want you to do is just as you exhale, just draw the elbows behind the body. Yeah, almost like you're just doing these kind of ones. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale, drawing the elbows in behind, broadening through the chest. Inhale, lifting up. And you can continue with this motion if you can't bind the arms. Otherwise, interlacing the fingers in behind the body, drawing them back soft. So we don't want to squeeze back again. Soft, drawing the chest up, hips forward. Just 2 breaths here. Good. On the 3rd breath, inhale both arms up. And then exhale both hands all the way down to meet that right foot. Lean towards that left side again and bring the right knee back to meet it. Both hands on the ground. And then we'll take the left foot back in behind the body. Tucking the chin. And then right hand forward. Left foot back, right hand forward. Pressing strong into the fingertips of the left hand. If this is too much with the right hand, just lower that right hand back down. One more breath in, and then hand down, knee down, other side. So right foot back, left hand forward. Right foot back, left hand forward. Top of the head forward. Strong into the fingertips of the right hand. Activate through the wrist. Good, one more breath in. And then hand down, knee down. And just soften down into a bit of a child's pose position again. Just relax for a couple of breaths. And then finding your way to a downward dog position. So walking both hands forward, spreading the fingertips. Lifting the chest, lifting the knees, pressing through the hands. And just imagine like we're looking in between the feet behind us. You don't want the hands too far away. You don't want them too close. You want them somewhere in between. You want the shoulders to be fairly relaxed so you're not hunching them up. So you want to drop down. Pressing into the pinky fingers can help with that, shoulder dropping down. And then spreading the palms, pressing into the thumbs and the rest of the fingers as well. Legs don't need to be straight and locked out either. But you don't also want them too bent. And just nod the head, shake it a little bit to make sure the head's just hanging in between the arms. Take one more breath in, lifting up the hips up on the tippy toes, and then softening down to the knees. Walking the hands back towards the body. This time, we'll lean towards the right side and bring the left foot forward. So right knee might come back a little bit more. The more you bring the back knee back, the less intense it will probably be on the actual kneecap. We'll inhale both arms up. And then exhale, sink into the posture. Good, draw the hips forward. Inhale, arms up. And then as you exhale, just drop the hands beside you. Elbows lead the way, and then the hands come in behind. Yeah, inhale, drawing up. Exhale, hands drop in behind. Inhale, drawing up. Either keep this or then interlacing the fingers differently the last time though. So interlacing the fingers, drawing the hands back, chest up and open. Yeah, so if you're very new to yoga, this might be intense for you. But as I said, there's ways of making it less intense, like the pillow underneath the knee. And just breathing through, it'll get easier. Good, one more breath out. Next breath in, raising both hands up. nice and tall. And then gently, both hands down. Walking them to the inside. Right knee back to meet the left. And then hands back on the ground, softening through the shoulders. Let's widen the knees a little bit. We'll come all the way down to our belly. But let's see if we can take a few seconds to come down. So spreading the palms. If this doesn't suit you, just as a note, if the wrists are a bit tender, I want you to just hold this for a few breaths before we come down to our belly. Yeah? You can just be on your elbows and forearms. Otherwise, tucking the chin, bringing the chest in between the hands. So leaning forward a little bit, 5 seconds all the way down. Bending the elbows. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Setting yourself up for locust again. So on your belly, shuffle the hips back. And then roll the shoulders up, back and around. Basketballs in the hands. Lifting up the chest. Maybe lifting up the feet again. Top of the head forward, feet back. Toes active. So what I mean is the toes curl away from the base of the feet a little bit. If you want, you can maybe reach the hands back a little bit. You don't have to interlace, but maybe just touch the fingers for a moment and then bring it back. If that's a bit much for you, don't worry about it. 2 more breaths and we'll get a rest. A little bit more lift for the last one, and then crossing the arms, either forehead again or opposite cheek to last time, and just relax. Maybe swaying the hips from side to side. And then framing the chest. Inhale, lift up. Exhale back to a child's pose. Couple of breaths here. And then just gently walking the hands over towards the right a little bit, just sinking the hip and weight back into the left hip. And then maybe placing that right hand on top of the left hand, just for 2 or 3 breaths. Nice big belly breaths. Good, gently releasing, walking the hands over towards the opposite side, sinking the weight into the right hip a little bit more, and then left hand on top of the right. And you can draw it towards, away from the body if you need a little bit more extra stretch. 3 breaths. Gently coming back to all fours. We'll just loosen up the shoulders a little bit. So just take the right hand out to the right and have the right elbow over and just roll around the shoulder a little bit and the wrist. Just really loose. Just a little gentle roll. One direction and the other. It just looks a little bit like this. Just very soft. Almost no pressure on the ground. Other side, so taking the left hand out to the left a little bit. Left elbow is over the wrist. And we're just taking little mini circles. Just loosening off the shoulder, the wrist, the elbow. And then we'll come onto our back. So coming onto your back and then just having one hand on each knee. And what we'll do is just take little circles in opposite directions with the knees. So 2 little circles with the knees. So they separate. And then seeing if you can get the shoulders to move in the same rotation as the knees. And then reversing that, reversing the direction of the circles. Always focusing the breath more into the belly than the chest if you can. And then place down the feet. We'll stretch our right leg away from us, left knee towards us. So right leg away, left knee towards us. And then gently bring that left knee towards the left armpit a little bit, flexing that right side of the toe. So the right leg is on the ground, pressing the heel on the ground, but pressing away from the body. About 2 or 3 breaths here. But always not squeezing, so we don't want to go 100%. So we want maybe 70% max of the stretch. Probably not even that for this stretch. Just in that general direction. And then gently switch around. So left foot away, right knee towards you. Left foot away, right knee towards you. And then bringing that right knee in towards the right armpit, flexing the left set of toes. Deep belly breaths. And then you can gently release. Place both feet down. We'll finish off with a nice bridge. So what I want you to do is have the feet in line with the hips, shoulders soft and relaxed. Gently press down through the feet. And then lifting up the hips. You can maybe take your thumbs or your hands underneath and get the elbows a little bit closer underneath, but you don't need to, only if you need a little bit extra. If you do have a block or a bolster or something like that, you can also place that underneath the hips and just rest the hips on there, something supported, if you prefer. Otherwise, just holding here for another couple of breaths. But what we want is to press down through the elbows and the feet and not have any pressure on the head or neck. Yeah, so there should be no pressure on the head or neck, or very little pressure on the neck at all. And when you're ready, you can just gently release. Stretch out the legs, make yourself comfortable for Shavasana. So this is just a short class, just warming up the body for the next few weeks of flows as we build upon these. But more so it was just for those who, if you have a bit of trouble with the binds or you're still fairly new to yoga, this will be a really good way for you to just get used to the postures and have a go-to and have the first layer that you can always come back to if you're still making your way through and evolving as a yogi. Yeah, so if you are new, it's a long road, stick to it, it's definitely worth it. And if you're not, and you did this flow and it was a little bit too easy for you, at least you're warmed up for the next few flows and you can maybe just skip straight on to the next flow. If you're going to be laying here for a few minutes with me in Shavasana, just starting to notice your breath in and out the nostrils, circulating through your whole body. Imagining that as you breathe in through the nose, you're drawing in fresh air, circulating through your body. And it's giving your body exactly what it needs now to restore it and nourish it. And as you breathe out, imagine your body is just filtering out whatever doesn't serve it, whatever it doesn't need, and just letting it go. Just releasing it from the body. That's it. And as this happens, you feel the entire body beginning to melt and relax. As you just lay here, not needing to do anything else. Nowhere to be, nowhere to look, nothing to do. Just simply noticing your body, bit by bit, beginning to release and surrender into this relaxation. And gently noticing it moving up the back of the heels, all the way up, behind the legs and the knees, up the back of the hips, from the lower back, all the way, softly moving up the back of the body, behind the shoulders, gently up the back of the neck, all the way up to the crown of the head. And then gently moving again, softly over the forehead and eyebrows, over the nose to the top lip, around the cheeks to the bottom lip. Feeling your whole jaw soften and relax, noticing more space now between the teeth and the tongue. That's it. Noticing the shoulders soften and melt into the floor and this soothing wave wash over the arms, wrists, hands and fingertips. The same soothing sensation washes over the chest, ribs and belly, the hips, thighs and knees, the shins, ankles, feet and toes, till it just rests at the soles of your feet for a moment. Just noticing it here at the soles of your feet. That's it. And feeling your whole body completely immersed in this gentle sensation now. And as you lay here, feeling completely supported, but completely weightless, you can just let go and just spend a couple of minutes here. There's nothing left you need to do. And very slowly, you can start to become aware of your breath again. Deepening it more into the belly than the chest. Beginning to brush your thumbs over each fingertip. Wiggling your toes. Nodding your head gently from side to side. Moving the shoulders, the wrists and the ankles, and just starting to move however feels good for you. Eventually you can take a nice big stretch up overhead with the arms, nice big breath in and a little grin. And then just roll over to one side, knees tucked in, head resting on the arm. Very slowly, gently, making your way up into a seated position. And we'll finish off with 3 breaths, with each breath taking both hands up above the head, palms connecting, and exhaling down through center, brushing the thumbs over the forehead, nose and lips, and the backs of the hands against the thighs. Just noticing every little sensation, noticing how much more aware you are of every little sensation, and how different you feel as opposed to before you started the class. We'll rest the palms in front of the chest and finish off. Take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth together. Taking a breath in now. Thank you for practicing with me. And I'll see you soon. Namaste.